it's not going to look that way. This awakening is so different because it's people, like I talk about in the second chapter, truth is the dividing line in Western culture. And there's metaphysical and spiritual implications of truth. But there are so many leftists and people, liberals, coming to truth. And truth exists because Jesus is truth, right? So when someone believes in truth, then they're that much closer to Christ. And they're going to be awakened. And then now we can so I can go into a lot of different directions with this. But without Christianity, it's built. That's the only true foundation of liberty, flourishing, is Christ. That's just a fact. And that's what we need to teach others. Those who believe in truth, like Musk, say, hey, you need to get to Jesus. That's where the ultimate answer is. If you want, what you say you want, it ain't coming from secularism. It's got to have God, and it's got to have the God of the Bible.
So you are an optimist. So you do think that Christians are going to get off their butts?
I think that's part of the awakening. Like postmillennialism, I'm very encouraged about that because here are Christians, and there are plenty of optimistic mills, and there are plenty of premillennials who they're just not being consistent with their eschatology, and they are involved. They are big time. Charlie Kirk. I mean, there's Eric Metaxas. These guys, whatever they believe about rapture and all that stuff, these guys are involved. These guys are saying, hey, we need to do something here. And I don't think again, we're on the other side of a lot of stuff, right? This journey. And part of that is the secular, but it's also fundamentalism and pietism. People are realizing Christians, it's not working. So yes, I do believe this.
Let me ask you a tough one. Will you hold this optimism if Trump loses in November?
Well, yeah, but it's sort of, okay. So my theology of history is that God is in control. So it really doesn't matter what happens. I mean, that's sort of odd, right? Because again, we're talking long term here. If God wants to judge America and destroy it and it's gone, read Habakkuk. Just read that book, okay? If you read, he complains in the first chapter. It's like, God, why? In the second chapter, I just did a post about this, Sec 2:14, he says, my brain is going too fast. So
it's all good. It's all good. Pull it up.
For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. That's in 2:14. And then the rest of it gets negative again. And in the final verses of chapter 3, he's like, even if there's not figs on the fig tree or grapes on the vine, even if there's no cows in the stall, I will yet trust you. That's the deal. Doesn't matter if Trump wins or not. Of course it does, right? Because there are going to be practical implications and suffering if he doesn't on a grand scale compared anywhere. But it doesn't ultimately matter because I'm living by faith and I believe we win down here. And whether that takes now, I just think too many people are awake to allow it to happen. And the fact is that they've lied. An empire built on lies cannot sustain itself. That's all they have. Their whole propping up of Kamala Harris is a lie. And everyone knows it's a lie. The leftists know it's a lie because it can't sustain itself. And I am convinced after 9 years plus of lies, Americans aren't going to buy it.